Hi friends, welcome to another lesson with Miss G. I'm so excited for our lesson today. I know I always say that, but it's always something really good, especially since we're learning all about the continents, which Miss G loves. So before we get into that, Miss G wanted to show you a new song. I thought it'd be nice to see about different hellos in different countries.
When we greet someone, we all have words we say. Words that mean hello, or how are you today? Salam, shalom, guten tag, buenos dias, konnichiwa, namaste, ni hao, bonjour, aloha, hello, hello. No matter who we all have words we say. Words that mean hello, or how are you today? Bonjour, akuale, salam alaikum, have a lovely day. Hola, fofo, yo merima, chamo rende, tashigala. When we greet someone, we all have words we use. Words that mean hello. So nice to meet you. So nice to meet you.
Alrighty, friends, that was nice. So, we're back to our continent of Africa, but just for a quick stop. So, Miss G wants to ask my friends, how do the words and pictures in Africa help us understand these natural features? So, natural features is a part of the land, right? That's a feature, and that's what's natural. The pictures helped us understand the words. Yep, that's always true. The pictures always help you understand the words. The words told us about them, and then the pictures showed us. So that's how we learn about Africa's natural features, because we learn through the words and the pictures. So today's lesson we will be answering, what does a deeper exploration of the words and illustrations reveal in Antarctica? So friends, we're actually going back to Antarctica and looking at the words and illustrations like we did with Africa. And here we go. We are off, all of us, all 30 of us on our planes. So, Miss G's going to read, and then you will answer the questions. Ice, wind, and snow. Antarctica has fierce winds that blow the snow. People must wear bright coats to see each other. What does this picture on this page help us understand what life is like in Antarctica? So even though Miss G didn't read the words, how would you know from the pictures what it's like? People wear jackets because it's cold. Right, if it were hot, people wouldn't wear jackets. There's a lot of white, so people wear colors. That's true too. We said that in the words, people must wear bright coats to see each other. There's a lot of snow there. That is true too. You can tell by all the white stuff. So now, since the picture is not moving, friends, how do you know it's fierce winds? Things are really white because of the snow, yep. You can't see people's faces because they're bundled up. The wind is blowing the snow all over, so it's hard to see people. So you can tell by the picture that there's fierce winds because he has his hood all the way up, and you can see all the white stuff here. That helps with answering how you know it's fierce winds. Antarctica has thick sheets of ice. Giant ice chunks can break off into the ocean. These chunks are called icebergs. Now, what in the picture helps us understand what giant and thick mean? The icebergs are bigger than the people. They are giant. Right. So if these people are so much smaller than the iceberg, we must know that the iceberg is giant, super big. I think thick means big and not skinny. Right. So this doesn't look like a skinny rock, so it has to be a thick rock, a bigger rock. How did the pictures help you understand the words we read about the different characteristics of Antarctica? Lots of big words in that question, friends. And I have a friend answering before I ask my question. But basically what I'm asking is, how did the words and pictures help us understand Antarctica? We could see what it would be like to be there. We could see how big things were. So if you had no idea what Antarctica looked like, and then you read this book, you will know from the words and pictures. They show us how much snow is there. Right, Miss G could tell you all day there's a lot of snow, but until you see the pictures, then you really know. So my friends, we are back to natural features. And what does that mean? They are the different parts of the continent. Right. They are the different parts that make up the land. That's correct too. So it's the parts of the land that are part of the continent. So now we are going to go through our book and start noticing all the different natural features of Antarctica. They aren't made by people. Exactly. So a natural feature is something from the earth. There's no way that people made the icebergs. So, friends, we're checking out the natural features here. Killer whales swim in the icy water. They hunt for fish to eat. So what's a natural feature here? You see it in the picture and you hear it in the words. Icy water. Good. And what do we call icy? What kind of a word is that? Miss G has it bolded here. I know it's a little loud behind me, friends. It's okay. A train goes by. We can keep going. So, icy bolded. Why did I have that bolded? It's because it's a descriptive word. It's not just an ocean. It's an icy ocean. So, we're going to go on to the next page, and I want you, friends at home, noticing the descriptive words, okay? Antarctica has tall mountains. Most are covered by ice and snow. Did you find it? Tall. So it's not just a regular mountain, it's a tall mountain. Ice. Not only is a tall mountain, but it's covered in ice. There's one more word describing this mountain. Can you find it? Ding, ding, ding. Snow. So my friends, this is a tall, icy, snowy mountain, okay? That's how they describe it in our story. Antarctica has thick sheets of ice. Giant ice chunks can break off into the ocean. These chunks are called icebergs. Now, we went over this. There's two words in this page that describe the iceberg. Who can find it? Ding, ding, ding. Thick. The iceberg is thick. What's another way to say how big the iceberg is? Giant. It's a giant iceberg. So it's a giant, thick iceberg, friends. That's how they describe it. So, we've got all our natural features for Antarctica. Now, we will be writing an opinion sandwich later on this week. That means you're going to write your opinion statement, you're going to give me reasons why, and a conclusion. How important are reasons? Let's give an example. Would you like to visit Antarctica? Why or why not? So Miss G has some pictures of Antarctica, right? So if Miss G was answering that question, she would say, yeah, I would love to visit Antarctica. Wouldn't you want to know why Miss G would want to visit Antarctica? Well, that's why reasons are so important. Just because I say I want to visit there doesn't mean you understand why. So reasons are very important. You have to explain yourself. I would love to visit Antarctica to see all the different animals. At home, what you could do is talk to your parents, talk to your brother, your sister, talk to us during Google Meet about Antarctica. But this is not your paper, friends. You do not have to write anything today. This is just to talk. I need my friends talking to me during our video and talking at home or during our Google Meet, okay? So let's hear a little bit more about Antarctica.
This is Earth. Maybe you've heard of it. I sure hope so, because you live on one of its 7 continents. This one is the coldest, the windiest, and the driest. You better bundle up, because we're headed to Antarctica. It's the 5th largest continent, and it's full of snow and ice. Antarctica is also the world's biggest desert. Deserts aren't just hot sand and sun. Any climate that has little to no precipitation, better known as rain, is considered a desert. For example, the famous Sahara Desert in Africa gets about 3 inches of rain a year, while Antarctica averages just 2 inches. Instead of the rain soaking into the ground, Arctic rain turns into snow and piles up. Winter temperatures can drop to between 14 and negative 22 degrees. But don't worry, summer temperatures can warm up to highs around 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Thousands of tourists travel to Antarctica every year to see amazing animals and more. Let's start with the Antarctic ice sheet. It's massive, the largest single piece of ice in the world, covering more than 5 million square miles. Rising above the ice is the southernmost active volcano in the world, Mount Erebus. Swirling inside the volcano is one of the world's only molten lakes made of lava. Antarctica is a cold and icy place, making it the perfect home for wildlife. Vegetation like lichen, moss, and algae have adapted to life above the ice, along with a few different types of seabirds, including one of the most popular in Antarctica, the penguin. And below the ice are some of the most amazing and diverse marine wildlife on the planet, including seals, octopus, and whales, making Antarctica one of the best places for scientific research. Dozens of countries from around the world have set up their own research stations here, studying everything from climate change to meteors from outer space. It's the harshest environment on the planet, cold, dry, and barren. But scientists and explorers have been braving this continent since the early 1900s, and there's still more to discover under the ice and snow of Antarctica.
Okay, so we learned a little bit more about Antarctica. Bet you didn't know that it was considered a desert. It's considered a desert, friends, because it doesn't get much rain. So even though it's not sandy, just like the video said, it's considered a desert. Interesting fact. So let's go through our shout outs. Ms. G will be shouting out our focusing question task. And that was, where would you want to travel to more, Europe or Asia? And you had to give me a reason why. So Nicholas did one, and he said, I think Europe is interesting. There are many places to go. So he didn't give me an exact where in his sentence. So next time, Nicholas, you could give an exact where, but I can see in your pictures, you did such an awesome job. Here he has the Eiffel Tower, and he has clouds, and he has Big Ben. We didn't even talk about Big Ben. Very nice, Nicholas. Good job. And he has his name and his date. So even though his sentence wasn't exactly what Miss G wanted, he did such a good job. He gets all the checks. Good job, Nicholas. Next up, we have Eliana. And Eliana wrote, Asia has the most interesting things to do. It has the biggest mountains. And here she has a mountain, and she has Eliana and the sun. So friends, as you can see, Eliana got all the checks because she did her name and her date, and she did all the sentences, right? Now notice, Nicholas said Europe, Eliana said Asia. Those are their opinions. It doesn't have to be the same thing, and that's okay. Now Miss G's like, you know what? It does have the biggest mountains. That's pretty cool. And you know what, Nicholas? Even though you didn't write it, buddy, I can see that you have an Eiffel Tower and Big Ben, and that's pretty cool too. Next up, we have Skyla. And Skyla wrote, the continent with the most interesting things to do is Asia. It is unique. It has the biggest lizards. Now, I want you to notice how Skyla is writing her words. She's doing such an awesome job making sure that all the letters are following the lines. I know at home it could be a little difficult, but I want you to keep practicing. Never forget how to write your letters. She did such an awesome job with spacing too, so we can tell that each word is separate from each other. And this, Skyla, is amazing. I don't even think Miss G could draw a Komodo dragon like that. And she has her 3 labels. Excellent job, Skyla. Alrighty, friends, I'm going to leave it there for today, and then we could do a little more shout outs next time, okay? Have a great day.